Welcome to the Black Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today we have an amazing guest with us. He is a writer, a director, and a producer. We have with us Okirike. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty well, man. How about yourself?
Good, good. Can't complain, can't complain.
No
Everything
doubt,
is
no
great.
doubt. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I like to start every interview with a very simple question, but some of my guests might find it difficult to answer. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. That question is, who is Okirike?
Who is Okirike? Yeah, that is a loaded question, right? Man, I mean, professionally, I'm a filmmaker. Really not just one title in the filmmaker aspect because I write, I produce, I
Mhm.
direct, I've edited, pretty much all aspects of it. So I just like to say filmmaker as a general thing, man. But
Yeah.
Okirike is an artist, man, an artist and a storyteller. And film is just one of the mediums that I use to tell stories. The different aspects of film are the different aspects that I use to tell stories.
Mhm.
I've also told stories through music, through poetry, through whatever, So I'm just an all around artist, man.
Okay, yeah, I like that. So you wear all the creativity hats, basically.
Yes, yes, that is correct.
That's what's up, man. Okay, so you are a writer, director, and producer when it comes to the film world. Let's
Yes.
begin with your writing. Where did your passion for writing begin?
Oh man, I mean, my passion for writing began a long, long, long time ago, man. I mean, I've been writing since I was little. It started off writing music, writing poetry, writing rhymes. Probably when I was around 5 or 6, that's when I picked that up. And that progressed to writing comic books and writing stories within the comic books and drawing them. And so I've always, in one form or another, written.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It actually sounds a lot like me, man, because I have a similar background.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I came up writing music and drawing and drawing comic books and making my own comics and all that stuff too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
That was
pretty.
that was probably the first format or platform of storytelling that I started off with was that, and within that I used to even within those write rhymes within those, and that also just
Yeah.
evolved into doing music.
Okay. All right. Bet. Okay. So you wrote the screenplay for your film Out on a Limb, which stars Jamal Willard, Trey Chaney, and Zephaniah. I don't know if I'm pronouncing.
Yeah, Zephaniah Terry.
Zephaniah Terry.
Correct, correct.
What is that film about?
Man, that film is really like a coming of age story about three different males coming from three different perspectives.
Mhm.
Both of them kind of around that window when you kind of get out of school, but you haven't quite matured into adulthood yet, and you're
Mhm.
just starting to figure things out. You're starting to understand that you're responsible for taking care of yourself. And in the case of Zephaniah, his girl's pregnant, so it introduces a new life into his equation that he's then responsible for. Having been kicked out of college and having the whole trajectory of what he planned for his life, being radically just snatched away from him, he has to try to figure things out.
Mhm.
Him along with his two friends, one of them, Jamal Willard, played the character Gunny, who was just getting out of the system and also looking to, you know, uh, bring a change in his life, but his was more looking towards the corporate side and trying to start a business and the entrepreneur side,
Mhm.
um, and just the challenges that they face, which kind of led them to making the choice to do the wrong thing and learning the lesson from that point on. But yeah, that's what I just look at it as a coming of age story.
Okay. Okay. And as far as inspiration goes, where do you gain your inspiration for your writing?
Everywhere, man. I get a lot of it comes from my own life, different aspects of my life, different challenges that I've faced, different experiences that I've had, that I could mold into these characters and that allows me to write realistically from the perspective of these different characters, who may be different facets of myself and just really just being a sponge. really just being a sponge and really looking at other people's stories and really being able just to relate and really put things together.
Okay. Um, and what was it like working with this particular cast for Out on a Limb? You had Jamal Willard, Trey Chaney, Zephaniah Terry. What was it like working with them? And was that your first time working with them?
Yeah, that was my first time. It was my first film project. So
Okay.
you know, kind of came out the gate. You know, with working with some, you know, experienced people. And it was great, man. It was great. It was the whole experience was kind of surreal to me, you know, just going from the stage of writing something, you know, for the first time and then watching people bring those characters to life that I wrote. Um I would say that for that first experience, I didn't really get to really be in the moment like I wanted to, because it was just, to me, just the pressure of getting it done, you
Right.
know, and it being the first time that I've done this and not knowing, you know, and having so much thrust onto my plate. It was more of a get there, do the work, get there, do the work, and get it done. So I didn't really really for that particular experience just get to really be in the moment and be like, man, I'm really doing this, you know what I'm saying, I'm really putting this together, I'm really, you know, I didn't really get to do that until after it was done.
Right. Right.
But like going forward, even in the project that we just wrapped another project where we
Wait, hold
filmed.
on. Wait, I was gonna say, hold on. Not yet. Not yet. We're gonna
Okay,
get
okay, 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 we're gonna get there. No doubt, no doubt.
yeah. And before we even get there, I want to backtrack just a little bit.
Hmm.
And let me ask you, when it comes to your writing, I know you said, you came up writing comics, writing poetry,
Yeah,
writing lyrics.
yeah.
At any point in time between that timeline and up until now, did you ever get any formal training in writing?
No, I've never had any formal training in writing. Growing up, I was a very, very avid reader.
Uh huh.
You know, I'm a immigrant, so our household was a little different. It wasn't all the We didn't have cable most of the time. It wasn't all the going to the movies and things like that. So to me, books were like, you know, my chance to really just plug in and to me, books were like movies. You know what I'm saying? Because once I get caught up in them and I could just visualize and see everything,
Hmm.
and it would just take me to a whole different world. So
Yeah.
just being an avid reader and really just absorbing naturally the trajectory of a story, just absorbing naturally the just the format of a story and what makes a good story, and just understanding the structure of a story, things like that, were just kind of naturally absorbed. So when it came time to write things of my own, you know, it was just a natural flow to it. I just knew what needed to be done.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And there's not a lot of appreciation in the fact of reading books and
Oh
being
yeah,
able to visualize things
yeah,
from an author standpoint,
yeah, yeah,
and then also from the reader standpoint,
yeah.
getting to be able to visualize and see everything that the author is trying to uh, you know portray and uh, you know write to work up your imagination.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely, definitely. I was able to even, you know, transitioning from growing older and starting to become a movie buff and just noticing the different nuances and the different techniques and the different even sometimes you might read a book and then see the movie of the book and notice the difference between telling a story on this one format and telling that same story on visually, the things that had to be different, the things that, so things like that is just like, it just shaped who I am as a storyteller and just kind of, you know, helped me have a real understanding of how to get across artistically, you know, the things that I want to say.
right. And so you basically picked up writing and you're self-taught. Now, when it comes to writing a screenplay, I would assume that you taught yourself how to write your screenplay as well. Uh,
Yes.
at any point, did you try to learn how to outline properly, how to uh, do the story structure, the three act structure, and things of that nature? Did you ever pick up Save the Cat and kind of understand how the story structure is supposed to be composed?
Yeah, a lot of things is crazy because a lot of things like I was just doing naturally, but I just didn't know the name that it had a name for it.
Okay.
So in me, I would start most of my scripts outlining the story,
Hmm.
and in the story, I'd already have in my mind, how I want to get to the end. I already know that, in the beginning of the story, I want to introduce these characters. I want to kind of give you the background and kind of develop them so that you could kind of connect with them and understand who they are,
Yeah.
understand what their struggles are, understand, what their motivation is in their story, and then just build on that and get into the the struggle of what they're trying to achieve and the different obstacles that they face trying to get to that goal, always building up to that point,
Mhm.
the climax in their story, and having their resolution. So in my mind, I already had that format in my head. I just didn't know the name of it. But after I started educating myself and understand, oh, okay, there's, they have a name for that. That's what I was doing. There's already a structure for that.
Right.
Even with the first project, filming the project and just kind of organizing what we were going to do and organizing, you know this day we're gonna have these are actors that needs to show up on this day. These are the actors that won't be there that day, and
Mm.
just organizing all those things and realizing later, okay, they have a name for that. You know what I'm saying? They have a that this is already, they do this professionally and they have a certain name for that. But
Right.
me just doing it instinctually because it felt like something that needed to be done, you know what I'm saying, just for things to flow how it needed to flow. So like
Mm.
a lot of the technical things I was already doing and didn't understand that, there was already a name for it, and it was already the way that people do it professionally.
Right. 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 And I just love the fact that, just even based off of the fact that you're able to read books and develop stories, come up with stories based off of reading books and getting familiar with how books are written and structured,
Yeah.
to being able to tell your own stories and figuring out how to write your own screenplays in the way that you were comfortable with writing first, and
Yeah.
then you took some time and educated yourself on how to do it the proper way. Um,
Yeah, once I figured out what I did look up was the format, like
right,
how the script is laid out as opposed to how an essay or a novel would be laid out. How
right,
to title your different scenes and indentations and things like that. That's what I studied before I started doing actually writing a script, with just how the script needed to be formatted.
right,
But as far as the story, that always seemed just to flow naturally. Like it would be something I would feel like, you naturally feel like something is missing on this part, or something needs to be added here, or we
right,
need to dive a little more into this character a little more, or understand this character a little more, or that this is how we're gonna bring about that conflict and things like that. So all of those things always kind of felt natural to me, um, just without having to be told.
right, right. Okay, and so we spoke about Out on a Limb, but you
Yeah.
you now and you have other films too, other films that you've worked on in the past, correct?
No, Outer was my first project. I had a short film that I worked on the
Okay,
past, that I acted. I was an actor in it.
okay,
Before that I did a couple of extra roles in different projects. I was like an extra in Black Lightning. But that was around the time that I knew that I wanted to go ahead and start doing this for myself. So it was almost like a reconnaissance mission, just kind of going and seeing how,
yes,
how an actual real life set flowed. So So that was pretty much it. So Out on the Limb was my very first project, and that's why I was kind of so anal about it, because I knew
Is your baby.
it was my first impression. It
Right.
was my
Exactly.
first impression, So and to be taken seriously, I knew it had to have a certain level, be up to a certain level, up to a par. So
Mm,
yeah, so that definitely kind of drove me to really make sure that it was a good project.
right. Right.
Yeah.
And so now Out on a Limb is currently on Tubi. Is it on any other streaming platforms where people can find it?
It will be soon. It will be soon. We pushed it on Tubi first, and I kind of got real sidetracked and just continuing to write different scripts and continuing to plan that I just kind of circling back around to go ahead and putting it out on a lot of platforms. So within the next month or two, it'll be out on other platforms as well.
Okay. Awesome. And so you now have a new project that you just wrapped on. And Trey Chaney is in that as well.
Yes, he
We
is.
also have my guy Vion Selman
Correct, correct.
is in that. And if I'm not mistaken, you also know Donna Christopher.
Yes.
I believe was she on your set?
Yeah, yeah, she was. She was. She came out. She came out to the set, man. She was, very supportive from the start. She was one of the first people that I let actually even read the script before
Oh
we
wow,
did it. Yeah,
yeah,
and just being that she has that writing background, just kind of bounce things off of her and get feedback from her on things that I felt that I could add to the story or take away from the story, and just kind of really just get a different perspective, because
yeah,
everybody thinks they're great in their own mind, so but it's always good to get different perspectives, see, not to the point where you're doubting yourself, or not to the point where you're losing the vision that you want to get across, but just to the point where you just have an open mind to hearing other perspective, and an open mind to really getting better at what you do, and that's the main thing. Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah. Donna's pretty awesome, and she's really good at working out the areas that you need to strengthen or better in the
Yeah,
script.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So your film is called Deadly Attraction, and
Correct,
as I
correct.
said earlier, it stars Trey Chaney, Vion Selman, Brian J. White, Moneta, and Whitney Code.
Yes, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Deadly Attraction is going to be about, without giving it away, of course?
Man, Deadly Attraction is a suspense thriller. Um, it stars Moneta. She's the lead. I decided this time to do something with a female lead,
Hmm.
to try to just do something different, because I always like to challenge myself. So I like to explore something different each movie that I'm doing, a
Hmm.
different genre, a different perspective. So this one was with a female lead, a female supporting lead, with Monyetta and Whitney, and they were amazing. They came through, and they were so professional. They were so prepared, and they just brought life to those characters. So it was just a real dope experience.
Dope, man, dope. Yeah, and then I know Trey Chaney and
Oh
Vion
yeah.
were great additions as
Oh
well.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely, definitely, man. Yeah, Vion definitely did his thing, man. I definitely, yeah, he definitely did his thing, man. He got a big future ahead of him, man. So
Yes, he
yeah,
does.
it was real dope to be part of that journey.
Yeah, I seen a few little clips of behind the scenes footage, and it
Yeah.
looks pretty exciting, man.
Oh
It
yeah.
looks
Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely. It's always the goal with each project to take it to a higher level than the project before that. So
right.
that's always the goal, just to keep getting better and better. Take what we learn and use that to make the next project better than the last. So I definitely think we did that on this project.
Mhm. And about how long did it take for you to film this project?
Oh man, we filmed this project 10 days straight, 12-hour days.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a grueling process, but it was definitely fun, and it was definitely worth it, man.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, did you have a full camera crew, full crew, or was it kind of like bare bones, a little bit of run and gun? What was your set like?
Oh no, this one we had a full crew, man. A great we teamed up with Blueprint Stories. I got Eric, and he got a dope crew that he works with, and they came out, and it was amazing, man. It was amazing, man. Real professional, real knowledgeable, and they really brought about the vision that I wanted, man. So the first project, it was more of that bare bones running gun. So to transition from that to this, it was
Yeah,
it was definitely a blessing, man.
yeah. And was did you know outright that aside from writing, did you know outright that directing and producing was something else that you wanted to take on, or you just wanted to be involved in filmmaking all around?
It's kind of weird. Like as an artist, I always looked at being an artist as a gateway to doing other things. So
Mm,
so I always had in my mind that once I get to a certain level within that would parlay into other opportunities. So in my
right.
mind, I saw myself maybe doing a little bit of a couple of roles here and there,
Hmm.
but I never even pictured myself directing. That was I gotta kind of give that to God. I gotta all the way give that to God. That's nothing. You see yourself a certain way and doing a certain things, and then God has way bigger plans than you could ever imagine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once I saw that
Yeah.
the ability was there, and to me at that point it became a responsibility.
Hmm.
You know, to fully embrace everything that I was capable of, because everybody can't do that.
Right.
So if there's something that I can do that everybody can't do, then it's my responsibility to do that. So if I'm the one who is called to build these platforms, I look at these movies as platforms for these actors to come in and really show who they are, and show them to the world. To me that's a big calling. So once that came into the play, you know, me myself being an actor, that really wasn't important anymore. You know what I'm saying? It became more important to give opportunities to other people,
Mhm.
and use my ability, because I had so many different gifts, and it wasn't until I got into film that I was in a medium that I felt like I was running on all cylinders.
Mhm.
I was finally doing something that utilized all the gifts in one way or the other, or had the ability to utilize all the gifts in one way or the other. I could contribute to this film musically. I could contribute to this film writing. I could contribute to this film directing. I could contribute to this film doing the graphic design. I could contribute to this film doing the sound and the foley. I could contribute to this film using the skill that I have to edit. So it's so many different ways that I could contribute,
Mhm.
and even when I'm providing opportunities for other people, I have a understanding of it to know how I want it to look.
Right. Yeah.
So it's definitely felt like just me stepping into the fullness of what I was given these abilities to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, your better half. I'm not sure if it's your wife or
Oh
is that
yes,
your
my
wife?
wife Regina.
Okay,
Yes. Hmm.
Regina. She's also a producer or executive producer. You
Yes.
guys produce
Yes.
these projects together.
Yes. Yes.
Um, being that you guys handle everything from top to bottom in the production of your projects, what are some of the things that you guys do in order to get around the obstacles and challenges that you face?
Oh man, I mean, it depends on the challenge. Every challenge is we tackle it a different way. Um, and I think our introduction into film was kind of like the most extreme circumstances, so that we could. It's like if we could do this, then we could do anything. So
Yeah.
like even with the first project, that being our first project ever, and me having to do us having to do so much and be involved in so many aspects of it, you know what I'm saying, from casting to writing to the directing to the producing, you know, financing it to editing to even contributing on the sound and things like that.
Mhm.
On in scoring, it was once I brought on a team like with this new project, you know, it's like okay, I've already experienced doing it the hard way. No, now we're doing it a little bit easier. And then with this project, having to film 10 days straight, you know, 12 hours days, you know, now that I had this experience, you
Mhm.
know, of having to get up 6 a.m., 5 a.m., you know, day after day after day, and just run this up and help run the whole set and be there till late and get a little bit of sleep and get back up and do it, and doing this for 10 days straight, you know,
Yeah.
that's another challenge that we were able to successfully complete, so that in the next project, you know, when we have more time, it's going to be a lot easier. So
Right.
I do know that there are going to be some more challenges that we probably haven't seen yet,
Mhm.
but I just feel good about, you know, what we have been able to overcome, and the place that puts us in, and the mentality that puts us in, as being able to, you know, tackle whatever challenges may come forward.
Right. Yeah. And each time that you do it, you get better. You
Yeah,
understand. You know how to not necessarily cut corners, but you know how to trim the fat,
yeah,
not necessarily make this mistake again,
yeah.
or to go through this process again if it's not needed. You know what steps you need to take, to get from A to Z a lot faster with each time that you do it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, it's just knowing, just the knowing, really, just knowing that there's a solution to every challenge and every obstacle. So
mhm.
just knowing from our experiences that no matter what we face, no matter what we see, there is an answer, and just being willing to look for that answer, being willing to look for that other way to get from that point A to that point that you want to get to, and just making it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I was gonna say if you could talk a little bit about being diligent when it comes to filmmaking to see your project through from beginning to end, because it's not a small feat to create a film from scratch and to bring everybody together, make sure people show up on time,
Yeah,
make sure you
yeah,
have all of the proper equipment that's needed, and so on and so forth. It is
yeah,
a
yeah,
full
yeah.
operation
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
get this
I
done.
mean, it definitely takes an extreme amount of diligence and
Hmm.
dedication to do a film project, and you know, it just has to be something that's embedded within you to embrace that. You know, if it's I believe God gives us diligence for the things that we were put on here and created on this earth to do. You
Hmm.
know, so there are certain things that I just wouldn't have the patience to do,
Right.
because it's not for me. But this is something that I just have all the patience in the world for. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, it's easy to break it down and just take it step by step, and knowing that as long as we continue to take each step forward, that we'll eventually get to the end of this massive undertaking, that this massive challenge, where someone else might look at it and be like, you know, that's just too much.
Hmm.
But just being able to break it down and understanding the steps, and understanding that, you know, being diligent will get you to that resolution, or to that uh, final stage that you're aiming to get at. Then, you know, just having that understanding and enjoying it, and just really enjoying what you do. You know, that's one of the biggest factors. You know, I really love what I do. You know, I really love seeing these actors, you know, bring to life these characters that I've written. I really love watching their talent, because I'm fans of them. You
Yeah.
know, is real dope. Acting to me is just a real dope craft. You know what I'm saying? And good, and watching these people who are dedicated to their craft, you know, have an opportunity to shine is just really dope for me, you know. So that is fulfilling enough to make you want to keep going, because it's at that point it's not about you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not, if you're quitting, you're not quitting just on yourself. You're quitting on these people who took the time to be a part of something that you created. So at that point, you just have to see it through.
Yeah, yeah. It's got to be an amazing feeling to see your project come to life and to see the characters that you imagined in your mind,
Yeah.
and then wrote on paper, and then seeing them, play out on film.
Yeah,
It,
yes, it's surreal to me. It's surreal to me. You know, it's if you know back when I used to do music, that was what was surreal to me, being able to just have an idea for a song
right.
and being able to write that idea, then build it and actually having a finished product of that idea. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And now doing it on the film side, is like the same thing, but it's just so much more moving parts. It's so much more massive, and now it's like it's just a lot more exciting for me, because everybody, so many more people are involved, and everybody who's involved is excited about it as well. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, you're the focal point. You know what I'm saying? So you're naturally going to be more excited about it than the people around you, at least until you get to a certain level. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But starting off, this is something that even starting off from day one, everybody that was involved was excited. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So, and having that kind of energy and being in a medium where you don't have those egos, and everybody is working for the good of the project, and just people are just more down to earth. People take their craft a little more serious because it's a medium where your craft still matters uh uh above a lot of other things, as opposed to the craft taking a back seat to how popular you are, or whatever kind of gimmick you could throw out there to get people's attention. So it's still the pureness of the art is still there for me. So I definitely am excited about that.
Yeah. If you could walk me through one of the days on set, what that's like when, I don't know how many scenes you try to capture in a day, but walk me through a day in the life of Okirike, on set filming one of your projects.
Man, I mean, just early rising, going over. I always have a checklist of things that I want to make sure that I leave the house with, so that I don't, get to set and I'm missing this, or I'm missing that. Just making sure everybody who's in charge of the different aspects, is on point. The PA is on point. The set is ready for everybody to be on there. Arriving there early, and just being there while everybody sets up, making sure that the cast has their, if we're early, has their breakfast, and we're prepping for that first scene. So I'll just look over that wherever the setup is, wherever we are, just decide how we want to approach that scene, how we want to tell that story, how the first shot that we want, how we want to bring the audience into that scene, what perspectives we want to film that scene from, and just getting that feedback from my first AD and DP, and just really mapping things out, and running through after the artists get through with their makeup, just running through a rehearsal and seeing how that looks, tweaking, make any changes that we may need to make, and filming it, man, and just knocking that out scene after scene for that whole day, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
um, that's pretty dope. So you allow your actors to do a rehearsal first. You allow them to practice maybe once or twice before you actually go into filming.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they are already in the dressing room or in the makeup room going over their lines. So our first shot, our rehearsal shot, is them taking that and putting it within the context of the actual scene.
Right.
So it's really just kind of what they call it, just really just blocking and seeing.
Yeah.
and seeing where we want to place everybody, how we
Mhm.
want them to interact with each other, and what angle we want to shoot that from. And then once we get that down, then we could go ahead and roll the camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you look for in your actors when you're casting your projects? What are some of the things that stand out to you or that you're looking for when they audition?
Um, when it comes to the actors, I'm not. I don't always look for the same thing for every role.
Mhm.
So I'm just looking for, are they believable in that role? Is that role a natural fit for them?
Mhm.
Are they going to be comfortable in that role, or am I going to feel like they're kind of stretching or out of character? Being in that role, I just want it to be believable to the audience that that person is that character. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm looking for. So depending on the character, I'm going to be looking for different things. From the look down to their mannerisms and their acting ability, their ability to bring the little quirks and the little things that makes that character feel authentic,
Right.
and their ability to connect emotionally to the plight of that character in a way that's realistic and not contrived.
Yeah. And do you give the actors any pointers as to, I really want you to drive, certain aspects of the script, some of the dialogue home. Um, do you give any pointers when you're directing,
Oh
or do you
yeah, yeah, yeah,
allow?
always.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, always. I'll go in there, after a take or after a certain take, and just kind of, um, if what they're bringing is not what I was looking for that scene, I'll kind of tell them, to do this a little more, or explain to them what the character is feeling in that moment, and allow them to take that in and really just drive that home.
Right. Right. All right. Let me ask you this: what avenues do you use to market and advertise your projects?
Social media, man. Social media, definitely. Man, it's like you got a billboard in a million people's hands every day. So I definitely like to take advantage of it. It's something that people don't have to drive by and see. They it's right there in their hands. So I just target the audiences that I'm trying to target and just try to create ads that are going to get their attention and just market on social media.
Okay.
And also, just we just, even through social media, we just, like, even before the project comes out, I like to bring people into the fact that we're doing a project. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So people are already aware that there's something going on, even just by just putting out the little behind the scenes and the little things here and there. All of that is building up to the point when the project is released, so that by the time it is released, people are already anticipating it.
Right.
So we don't just start marketing it when it's done. We start marketing it from the beginning. The actors are hashtagging the name of the film, and and we're showing little bits of behind the scenes of the film, and just kind of getting the audience prepped to know that we will be dropping something.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Content is king, man. You
Yeah,
definitely gotta capture as much content as you can and
exactly,
utilize it to the best of your ability to to get the word out.
exactly,
Um,
exactly.
so your production company, Real Rebel Films.
Yes,
What is your vision for your production company?
man. Just to really be a powerhouse, man. Just to really be a powerhouse in the film industry, on a level where we're just in control of the projects that we do, that we want to do. In control of who we choose to be a part of these projects, and just really uh really keen on giving opportunities to people that we really see are just very talented. and the only thing might be missing is just the world don't know about him, or they haven't gotten that right opportunity. So just really, I always want to stay in the game of putting people on. You know, it's good to use experienced actors, and I understand the marketing side and things like that. That's going to help sell the project and sell the popularity of the project. But I still always want to give those opportunities to those new faces. You know what I'm saying? Even like in our new project, Manieto, who's the lead, this is her first project, being a lead. And
Right.
then Out on the Limbs, Zephaniah Terry, he was the lead. That's his first movie project being a lead, and most people would look to for the established artists,
Mhm.
but I think as long as we put them around
Right.
enough familiar faces and enough things like that, then that's all it takes.
Yeah, it helps them. It helps everybody, but you're
Yeah,
also
yeah,
helping, bring forward a fresh new face.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Definitely, 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 man. And hopefully, they parlay that into bigger and better things. You know what I'm saying? So, and when they get there, then they'll help the next person. And meantime, I'll be looking for the next person to give an opportunity for. But
Absolutely.
we definitely like to give it to people who we just really feel are deserving, who really take the craft serious, and who really just and who we believe in,
Hmm.
who we could look at them and see that greatness in.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know if you are if you could explain this, but um, for those who have never seen an Okirike film, how would you describe what the audience would expect from an Okirike film?
Man, my films are definitely character driven. So that's the main thing. Just I like to introduce characters to the world that people could really have a connection with. So and I like to entertain. So even though my the overall genre of my film may be one thing, there's so many different aspects within it, to that entertain in different ways. So even in a thriller, you're gonna have a little bit of action, a little bit of comedy, a little. So it's just really when I look at a project, I always have the audience in mind. So I'm always trying to take them on a ride, an emotional ride and a
Right.
journey, and I'm always trying to bring characters that aren't your typical cliche, this the good guy, this the bad guy type characters. I try to bring multifaceted characters where, you know, one person might look at them as the bad guy, another person might look at them as the good guy, another person might understand, what they're going through and why they would do that. So it's on the audience to gravitate towards whoever they gravitate toward. Like
Yeah.
out on a limb, you'd be shocked how many people were in love with the queen pin, and she's this killer, but so many people were endeared to her because of her personality and the way she played that character. So
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times we like to root for the villain sometimes, especially
yeah,
if
yeah.
they play that role really good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and especially when if you understand where they're coming from, like
yes.
you like I wouldn't necessarily do that, but I could understand why they did that. You know what I'm saying, like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, so what's next for Okarike? I know you have out on a limb. You now
Yes,
have Deadly Attraction.
yes,
What is next?
man. I got probably like 5 more films written, so it's
Okay.
just about yeah, yeah. I'm excited about the next one that I think might be next up. I'm actually going over the script now and just kind of tweaking it and kind of developing it a little bit more. But yeah, just more projects, man. More projects.
Okay. You plan on having a couple more projects out this year?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, man. This year I want to at least get. at least 2 or 3 more projects um after Deadly Attraction done this year. At
Right.
least two, but idealistically 3 of them. Yeah.
Okay. I do have another question for you. As it pertains to your production company and you putting out projects, are you opposed to working on outside content? So, say if it's another screenwriter, somebody else's story, but you want to direct and produce it. Have you thought about that yet? Are you not there yet?
I mean that's something I'm definitely open to, and it would definitely ride heavily on what the project is. If it's something that I read and it speaks to me in a certain way, and I want to get that story out just as much as the person who wrote it. Because it just touches me in that way. Then I'm definitely open to that.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, I'm definitely open to that, man.
Okay. And then, as far as actors that you cast for your films, do
Yeah.
you cast all over, or like all over the country, or do you cast local only?
Um, um, it right now is mostly local, just because I want them to be able to get to set when we need them.
Yeah.
But as the projects get bigger, and we're able to, say fly people in and have and put them up, while they're here and do things like that, then we'll definitely expand it. And I definitely also want to do projects outside of Atlanta. I want to travel to different states or even different countries, and do projects. I was born in Nigeria. I want to go there and do a few film projects over there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And in even maybe to South Africa, to Ghana, different parts of the continent. So I'm definitely don't plan to keep everything confined to Atlanta. That's
Yeah.
just the point that we're building from at this point.
Absolutely. And just to your point, I would like to mention to you, just on the side, do what you want with it as you
Yeah,
want. But
yeah,
and I'm sure you're aware, but Nollywood is really big right now, and a
yeah,
lot of these platforms are looking to capture a lot
yeah,
more African content, in
yeah,
particular
definitely,
content
definitely,
from Nigeria and Nollywood.
yeah,
And there's really, the market for Nollywood in Africa is still very underdeveloped, and that's why they
yeah,
search outward, for that attention, because they don't really have it, in house there, and
yeah,
so they're looking to build that up. So that would be
yeah,
pretty dope, and an idea that another Nigerian actor proposed was to start to incorporate Nigerian actors in American films,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and then vice versa,
yeah,
incorporate Americans into Nigerian films,
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and just kind of have that cross there, to where each help each other.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely, man, and definitely, I definitely want to be instrumental in that.
mhm.
I definitely even see that as part of my calling to be instrumental in that. So, I'm just seeing where it goes, man.
Lastly, I like
Yeah,
to give my guests the final word. And
yeah.
with the final word, it's whether you want to give a piece of advice, words of encouragement, or a quote that you like to live by. And any of the three or all three, it's up to you.
Okay. Really, just a shout out to everybody who a lot of people reach out and they be like, man, I want to get into acting, or put me in a movie and things like that. To really just don't wait for somebody to give you the green light to start doing what you say that you want to do. I mean, you know, th- you getting into a movie shouldn't be your first time acting.
Right.
So get involved in some acting classes, or just even just practice with scripts that you like, or movies that you like, or just get in front of a camera, get in front of your phone camera, and just do what you say you love. You know what I'm saying? And really start learning about yourself, and really start learning what your abilities are. So definitely, yeah, just that's it. Just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Well,
that way when the opportunity presents itself, you're prepared. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
success is when preparation meets opportunity. So when that opportunity presents itself, and somebody wants to see something, or see what see is just to see what your abilities are, what you're capable of, you have something to show for it, as opposed to being like, just take this gamble on me on
Yeah.
something that I've never done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, Okarike, I truly appreciate your time. I truly appreciate your knowledge and your insight, and thank you for sharing your journey with us. And with that being said, Okarike, everybody.
Hey man, appreciate you for having me, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
No doubt, no doubt.